For me, quad racing is like pure adrenaline. It's absolutely awesome. The adrenaline of going over jumps and air time for me is just like, that's unreal.
I was the Ulster and Irish champion for 3 or 4 years. The best finished the British Championship was 3rd.
He was one of the best in Europe, so he was. I don't think I ever managed to beat him unless his quad bike broke down. He was always like everyone's idol, so that was pretty cool as well. Well, we've raced together for probably 5 or 6 years before we actually started going out.
We had common interests, we both did a bit of training for the race and we did it and all was good.
Me and David always had like a saying before we always got on the quad. It's maybe not a good saying, but we always used to say, "Are you prepared today?" And he'd be like, "I'm prepared." And that meant I'm prepared to leave in an ambulance. Because I think the days that you weren't prepared to fall off was the days you didn't ride well. If there's a chance to pass, you're either going to take it and win or back out and be second. So you always have to be on the edge. We were racing on the Saturday for the Ulster Championship, and David actually got a bad start, which was very rare.
Got blocked in the first corner, was sort of blasted away and trying to move up through the field.
And I knew he was behind me, so I was like kind of waiting for him just to let him pass. The next thing I seen a red flag up and looked behind, David wasn't there, so I knew, I was like, something's gone wrong here.
Landed just into a square edge bump, which sent the quad end over end.
And the quad catapulted him out over and landed on his back, and it just dislocated his vertebrae.
All these bad thoughts come through your head, you know, what am I going to do? What with life? What about Emma? Are we going to be able to have kids? Or am I going to be able to go to work?
I was crushed inside, obviously, but I just tried not to show to David and just tried to be as strong as I could for him.
She hid her own feelings and was just like, right, it's happened, get on with it.
I kind of was like quite tough because like a lot of people in David's situation kind of give up. It may or may not have been the right approach, but I was like, right, you be grand, you know, we'll just deal with it. And we did. So yeah, it was just tough love. The first 18 months was really hard. There's a lot of things you don't think about until it's like, oh, wait, you can't do that. So you had to get cars adjusted, house adjusted. It was really, really hard, like for both of us and like all our family, but you just have to get on with it. Once he had his accident, I tried to race the following year and I just hated it. Like it was really hard. I hated him not being on the track. He definitely missed that.
I felt glad in a sense that I didn't want her to get hurt, and in another sense I didn't like it because I didn't want her to change her lifestyle, to do anything different. She sort of backed off then from the racing and she needed another thing to do because so much time in our lives were training, getting the bikes ready.
Myself and David were actually in California. David was getting a rehab. I was just in a global gym doing back squats, and I looked in and there's like these people doing like butterfly chest bars, and I was like, whoa. I couldn't even lift the weights. I think it was like power cleans or something. I came back the next morning and it was burpees and running, and I was like, oh, I can do this.
She was so excited about it, and she's always been so competitive.
Basically, that was me. I was hooked.
She was going to find another sport, and I was glad that she did find CrossFit.
I think I just buried myself in CrossFit. If I race the quad, it's for me and for Dave, but CrossFit's just for me.
through the accident, through CrossFit, she's a stronger person. Like even getting off airplanes, and Emma just literally nearly threw me over her shoulder and lashed me into the seat and away we go.
There's been loads of times we've went to like different hotels or different racetracks and David like can't, there's no access. So like being stronger definitely helps. I can just lift him and we'll get to wherever we need to go. You see there's a few men, they're like, oh, I'll give you a hand. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. I've got this. So it is good help, like being stronger.
I competed at the Meridian Regionals for the first time this year with Emma. She's a strong athlete, she's quiet, she seems level-headed, but when she gets out there she goes for it and does what she knows she can do. It takes a lot to just worry about yourself competing and getting things done, but having to worry about something else and someone else that you care about that much makes, especially your mental game must be right up there, so it's very impressive.
Once I said to Dave, I was like, I think I want to ride the quad again. He was like, really? And I just took it as like going out practicing and having a wee bit of fun, and then we were like, oh, let's try a race. And I've probably had the best like 3 months racing in my whole quad racing career. The things that really help with the quad bike is grip strength, massive, core strength, and your lower body. You need quite a lot of leg strength because you grip with your legs quite a lot, and obviously your legs act as suspension as well. That's probably one of the things I was weak at, but I think that's why I've got a lot better, because my legs have got stronger, core's got stronger, and probably from doing all the bar work, my grip's got a lot stronger, so yeah, definitely.
Everybody says I'm such a strong person, and it's through Emma doing that I am. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be who I am now. I think things happen for a reason, and if it wasn't for that, she wouldn't have found CrossFit.
I think one day Emma will be at the CrossFit Games because she 100% deserves it. She's been a bit unlucky some other years, and she probably should have been there 2 years ago, but yeah, 100% 2018.
She really wants to make it to the CrossFit Games, and we'll do everything we can. I will do, and Emma will do everything we can to try and make that happen.
Now, because I've had the break, I've just been like, yeah, if it's going to happen to me, let it happen. If it does, it does. I'm ready. And I think that's made me a better person, a better athlete, because it's like, I'm not afraid. You just go into the race or go into a CrossFit competition and you're like, well, if I lose, I lose. That's all that's going to happen.